Hey, what's up, everyone? I hope everybody's having an absolutely wonderful day, and I hope that your day is filled with love and laughter. Today, I wanted to talk about something religious. And as many of you know, I'm not a religious person, but as religious scripture is passed down through the generations, I think it does hold a universal truth. It's just the ego and the analytical mind of man has distorted it and kind of twisted it to their own beliefs and translated it literally to this 3D reality and not really anything other than that. And one of the topics that was discussed was the seven deadly sins. And the seven deadly sins, which many of you are familiar with, I'm sure, originated back 6th century, I believe, with the church and Pope Gregory. And the seven deadly sins were pride, wrath, which is anger, envy, greed, lust, and sloth, laziness, basically. So these things are translated literally, and I think that we misinterpret them because, to me, it's deadly in a sense that it kills, or doesn't kill. It lowers the soul's vibration, lowers the essence of our being when we are guilty of one of these doings. It lowers our vibration and keeps us trapped in this 3D world. And I think one of the ones that I struggle with the most is probably my ego, which is a struggle for many people, and many people don't even realize it. But pride, it's one thing to be proud of who you are and to own who you are, but when you get pride to a sense where it's all you're doing and it's all you and you are better than people, and I think that's where we get caught up in the lower vibration in the 3D world. And pride is deadly to the soul because it is the ego, and as many of you know, the ego and the soul are polar opposites in my opinion. You must merge the heart and the mind in their polarity and to become one. Another one of the deadly sins is envy, and envy really lowers our vibration because we're ungrateful for the things that we have. So we become envious of others that we perceive having more of. And what we don't realize is we have exactly what we need within. And we get caught up in the material world and start to, again, let our ego tell us and direct us, therefore being a deadly sin to the soul and lowering your vibration and keeping you in the mindset of hell or purgatory. Because a lot of times you'll hear me allude to heaven, hell, and purgatory really just being states of mind and frequencies that we emit from our being. So showing gratitude and appreciating the things you have can really help rid you of that envy of others. And it'll also help bring in other things that you aren't necessarily bringing in by wishing you had them and not putting any action into play. Another deadly sin is gluttony. And when you're gluttonous, it doesn't necessarily mean food. When I was younger and a little less understanding of things, I thought gluttony was just food. But to me, gluttony is just overusing. It could be food, drink, anything you use in excess, more than you need. That is gluttonous. Because when you're using more than you need, you are not being mindful of all. And we are here to become one with all. So when you're being selfish and you're being gluttonous, you are hoarding all the stuff for yourself. So that's another way to lower your vibration. And um, we're all guilty at some point of that until we really tune into our true essence. Um, Another one is lust. Lust is very easy to do, especially in this three-dimensional world, in the world of advertising, in the world of marketing, and everything is sex sells and sex sells. And lust is when you're lusting physically for another being, or even yourself, or watching pornography is lusting, and that lowers your vibration because you're not being true to yourself. And when we lust, it takes us from the soul being, and sexual encounters are all 3D world, and really lowers your vibration, because when you have an intimate sexual encounter with another being, it should be on a soul level and not from a physical standpoint. Because if you've ever had a strictly physical relationship with no soul connection, you'll understand it. It feels dirty. It feels disconnected. It feels like it goes against your true being and your essence. And yeah, those 15-20 minutes may be exciting, and you can brag to your buddies, but when you sit with yourself, you still feel empty. So that's the ego lusting for physical contact, and it's just strictly in this physical world. Another one that kind of ties in with the gluttonous deadly sin is greed, and wanting excess of money, for selfish reasons. For myself, I often try to manifest excess money because I have all these grandiose plans of how I can help other people and how I can bring love and light and laughter in. And though money is an energy exchange, it's a very dirty energy exchange because of what it represents. And to me, to be able to live in excess of that energy, I can turn that dirty energy into pure energy and help other people. So being greedy and trying to call in excess money, I get, just like many things, it all really depends on your intention of what you plan on doing with that excess of energy that you are calling in from the quantum field, and things that you're manifesting for yourself. Trying to think for ones I didn't touch on. Sloth. It's always one I forget for some reason. Probably because I'm not a lazy individual. Although I have been in the past, and I have procrastinated, and to me, sloth represents just kind of purgatory. Not really doing anything, not putting anything into action, just kind of floating through life, just blah. You're not putting any spiritual work, you're not putting any physical world work. You're just kind of you're not contributing. And for me, this is something that I have struggled with in the past, and goodness, it is raining hard. I hope you guys can hear this video. But avoiding doing any type of work, it lowers your vibration, because you're not setting intentions to raise your vibrations. Therefore, you're stuck in a state of mind that is just purgatory. A lot of times you'll hear people that are guilty of the sin sloth they'll complain about their life being boring, or nothing ever happens to them, good, bad, or indifferent. And, that's because you're not setting intentions, you're not putting in work, you're not setting visions for yourself to manifest. So when you go without visions, or you go without purpose, a lot of times you stay stagnant and at a very low vibration. So, speaking of deadly sins, I think it can be interpreted as deadly for the soul, and deadly for the growth of your essence and the growth of the vibrational frequency that you're putting into this world. And I think that we're all guilty at some point in our life or another. The the proper thing to do is just to be mindful of these and pay attention to these in the sense that, yeah, you may not necessarily go to a place called hell, but when you stay at a low frequency and you don't try to raise your vibration, then you are in the mindset of hell. You feel trapped in the repeated cycles of life because you're not taking lessons and moving forward and growing from them. So just a brief view on 7 deadly sins that are laid out in many religions. The Catholic religion is where it was founded with the church, and so I was just shining my light on my view of the 7 deadly sins, and ways that you can raise your vibration and get away from these sins that kill the soul. And I would love to hear you guys' feedback on this, especially if you're a religious person. I'm open to have a conversation with anybody, open to all, concrete to none. So, concrete to none but self and God, which are all in the same. And that in turn is concrete to all, I guess. So it's funny how everything comes full circle, and the ping pong ball just got bouncing. So I'll cut this video off. But I hope you all have a wonderful evening or night or morning or wherever you are in this world. I hope that you are blessed in hours ahead of you, and I hope that you're present in the hours ahead of you. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow.